Hey everybody, welcome back to the NCAA Football 2006 Iowa State Death Penalty Dynasty. This is James coming back at you. Today is the start of Season 2 here in the Death Penalty Dynasty. We just went through recruiting. We got the worst recruiting class in the country, but we got a couple of players. We got a quarterback, we got a wide receiver, we got a wide receiver slash tight end. We got a linebacker, and that's really about it. We are starting the season at the number 6 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Our quarterback is, I believe, from Bay City, Ohio, in Will Rogers, so he is going back home for this one. This is a team that did not recruit him. He is a 2-star quarterback. Maybe he has some feelings about it. He's a statue quarterback. He's only got like 52 speed, but he does have an excellent arm. He's got crazy arm talent, especially for this level. This is not arm talent that we're necessarily used to having this early. Generally, my quarterbacks at this stage, if they're 2-star, have a little bit of ability to run, but they're generally coming to like the mid-80s. At best in terms of quarterback or arm talent, specifically with arm strength. Will Rogers comes with 91 arm strength and 85 throw accuracy. It's a good setup. The problem is that we have no lineman to block for him. So anytime he drops back, he's a liability to get sacked. He doesn't quite find the windows quickly, and that could be a problem. We are playing an Ohio State team that's incredibly talented. We have very little hope in this game. That's just trying to keep it close. They got an impact quarterback, Huff, who's excellent. They've got talent up and down their roster. They run an offense that's a little bit more traditional, especially for today's day and age. So they're not maybe as explosive as you might expect them to be, but they are still very, very good. Ohio State in the 2005 era, they were rocking with Troy Smith was the quarterback after coming off of Craig Krenzel. I forgot who was after Craig Krenzel, but I know Troy Smith was right in that area. He became the starter, I want to say, in 05, and then in 05 and 06, he was the guy and won a Heisman Trophy in 2006. He was just a different type of quarterback that Jim Tressel had been using that he had not been using prior. He generally liked his statues like the running game, Maurice Clarett. They had a couple of guys come through there, the Wells kids. You had Mo Wells, then you had Beanie Wells. So they were a little bit more traditional in their offense, but they started expanding it around this time, going a little bit more spread with Troy Smith and his running ability. You had Ted Ginn at wide receiver, Anthony Gonzalez. They had tight ends. So I think Nickel was a tight end who was really good, and they had an excellent stable of offensive linemen. And then after that, it was Terrell Pryor. So yeah, they were not short on excellent dual threat quarterbacks, but they were still kind of in their traditional offense going into 2005, so their offense in this game, again, is a little bit more predictable. So you're going to see the arm talent display here. One other thing I want to note as well, coming into this dynasty, if you watch the previous video, you're going to notice some of the names of the players that I recruited are just a smidge different. One of the things I do going into every season is I have a wheel that I spin. It is a wheel that was produced, and this, by the way, is pick 6. That throw was terrible. It was behind the receiver. 20, 10, 5, Cotton Candy, Piccadilly Circus, all that good stuff. 10-0 Ohio State. Sorry about that. So I have a website where I spin a wheel, and it has every single Division 1A team on there, and then I have a wheel that has the years from 2000 to 2025. I spin both of those wheels, and whatever it comes up with the team and the year, I go to that roster, and then depending on how names fit and what I kind of want to do, I will take names that interest me off of that roster and maybe plug them into my own roster, because the names do get a little bit generic here. I'll have rosters that have just an unusual amount of guys with the last name Brown or White or Green or Black, and it does get a little bit redundant where I'm putting front initials on guys, and it's just like, I want to do something a little bit different, a little bit more creative. So if the last names get a little bit redundant, I'll change some of those. If the first names don't really quite fit with the player, I'll change some of those as well. So a couple of guys do have changes. Specifically, Tremaine Diggs is now, Tremaine Dunn is now Tremaine Diggs. 2012 Maryland did feature Stephon Diggs, so I did give him, so he's a wide receiver, figure, last name starts with a D, Tremaine Diggs. Tight end, from the wide receiver spot, Isaiah Smith is now Isaiah Steinbaugh. Our outside linebacker, Chad Silva, is now Ricardo Silva. Our corner, Eric Augusta, is now L.A. Augusta, which I thought was kind of cool. And then our strong safety, Steve Townsend, is now Avery Townsend. So those are the changes for this year. When I have a lot more recruits, there might be more changes. I did keep a lot of them, too, like Will Rogers is the same. I did change the other quarterback. We got Marvin Dawson is now Brock Dawson. But, yeah, Will's the same. And most of the rest of the roster is the same as well. So I didn't make a lot of other changes. But just to give you an idea, if you're wondering, like, this guy doesn't seem to have the same name, or, like, who is this guy, that's why. I think the biggest one you'll notice is the Tremaine Dunn into Tremaine Diggs, because he's going to be a big part of this offense. He's going to be a very large part of this offense. We get into the gameplay here now. Finally, I know, right? It's 10-0. It's now 17-0 Ohio State here. Early second quarter in the Horseshoe. They're doing whatever they want to do. We don't have a lot of options on offense. What's tough about this game is that Ohio State's defense is so fast, and we're throwing a statue quarterback with no defensive line, and they're blitzing. I mean, look at this. I'm just getting harassed. And Ben Dahl's trying to make catches. He's an impact wide receiver coming from last year. We had a fantastic year. I think he broke every single Iowa State receiving record last year that he possibly could. You're getting him in front of this defense, and it's just chum for sharks, man. They're just harassing him. Play after play after play. So maybe not the greatest introduction for him. I hope people don't sour on him too quickly, because our first games are Ohio State and Iowa. And I'm sure there'd be, like, in any other instance, especially since I have a capable backup now, like, maybe it's time to move on and try something else. I'm not going to say that I don't. Brock Dawson is going to get snaps in these first two games, but we got to get to conference play. We got to see what this kid can do. We got to see if he can develop. The goal this year, if we can get 4 wins, so we can get 3 or 4 wins, that's the goal. Last year we won 1 game. It's all about the recruiting points right now. We had so few recruits that really we're just trying to get a foothold in this dynasty, win a couple of games, and maybe we're not supposed to. Overall, we are still far and away the worst team in all of college football, so anything we do to get wins on the board is fantastic for the year 2019. Obviously, we start with an incredibly difficult schedule. If you've seen the previous video, you know that we have 2 big games to start the year. Then we go to Maryland, and we end the season with a trophy game in Missouri, and we have conference play in between. The conference is getting better. There are good teams in this conference. UTEP is a heck of a lot better. In fact, we're going to face one of our old SMU recruits in that game. Tulane is getting better. I want to say Houston is actually doing a pretty decent job too. So there are teams in this conference that have some talent that we very simply do not have. So we are going to get tested up and down this roster. I don't know if we're going to do much better than 1 win. We will find out. But all we got to do is play the games. Maybe we can surprise some people. It's only 17-0 here. We're not getting destroyed yet. Ohio State goes to the ground. Whitaker, well, I spoke too soon. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Buckeyes. Ohio State, go ahead and dot that I. It's 24-0 here in the first half. 47-yard touchdown run for Whitaker. Rogers, left hash. He's rolling right. You can see he just doesn't quite have the wheels, but he does find Dan Pino. Makes a nice catch there and picks up a first down, 1st and 10 at our own 35. Rogers, shotgun, takes a snap, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Rolling left, he's going to fire left, and that one is caught by Diggs. It looks like it got deflected a little bit, but he brings it in. Fresh set of downs. Rogers throws over the middle. That one's incomplete. You can see the pressure coming from Ohio State here. You can see the team speed that, again, we just do not have a lot of matches for. That's another out route that we're not hitting quite yet. We've thrown it behind. We've thrown a pick 6 on that. A couple of them have been deflected away like that. That is unfortunately going to be something. I'm not sure what it is. But Rogers, man, like when he starts losing a little bit of accuracy, when he starts getting harassed, he starts making some weird throws in this game. We'll see if it keeps up. We go out on downs. Ohio State takes the ball over at the 48-yard line. Huff's going to throw to the right. He's got his man Stokes, who cuts back in, continues to cut, and then drags a defender across the 35. Excellent effort there by the wide receiver. They're going to give it back to Whitaker up the gut, hurdles, and gets up across the 30-yard line. They take a timeout, 2nd and 4. Huff fires to the left, has Carter, picks up a first down. Another timeout for the Buckeyes, 1st and 10 at the Iowa State 22. Huff has all day to throw, throws left, touchdown, Ohio State. Brutus is enjoying this first half, 31-0. Ohio State here in the first half. Can we get points before half? What can we salvage? Rodgers has a little bit of time. He's going to roll out. He's going to fire to Diggs. You can see the arm talent. That's a heck of a throw. That's a throw that maybe last year we're not able to make. Good-looking ball from Rodgers. Drops back, tries to buy a little time. That time has expired. That one falls to the turf. 2nd and 10. Rodgers looking, throwing to the left. Has Ben Dahl, makes a nice catch. We're going to call timeout ourselves. 3rd down. We're going to survey. We're going to take the shotgun snap, roll right. We're going to fire to Diggs again, and that one's going to fall off his hands. That would have been a difficult catch. You can see 14 hurries in the first half. This is relentless. We're going to the right. We've got Dan Pino, makes the catch on 4th down. However, there's only 6 seconds left in the half, so Rodgers is going to take the snap here. Going to roll left, has Diggs, bounces off of his hands. Pick 6. You have to be kidding me. When it rains, it pours. The numbers for Will Rodgers are not going to look great. I understand that. But look at what we're dealing with, man. Unbelievable. Pick 6 to end the half on a drop pass by the receiver Diggs. And it's 38-0 here at halftime. But hey, we get the ball coming out of half. That's just great. We pick up a nice gain of 5 there. Rodgers under center. You see him trying to waste a little bit of time here. I think we're just trying to get out of dodge. Nice pass to Steinbaugh. The wide receiver converted to tight end there. He might be a 4-year starter there. He came in as a 68 overall, I want to say, but was a 72 tight end. And I'm like, well, 6 foot 220. He's got some girth to him. He's got some speed, can jump. Like, tell you what, I've had tight ends like that in the past. Speaking of speed, Whitaker, he's back on this team. Shannon Gray did not make the cut, but Whitaker did because of the year he had of the second half last year. And he picks up a first down on the ground. We throw to the right with Rodgers. That one's going to fall incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 32. Rodgers trying to buy some time. Throws to the right in double coverage. That one's going to be dropped. That did hit Pino on the hands. Going to be 3rd and 10. Rodgers shotgun left hash. Rolling right. Look at the pressure. He just rolls directly into a sack. Part of this is that I need to hang out in the pocket a little bit more. And that if I'm going to play defense with this type of speed, I cannot roll out incessantly. I do it again here. You got to stay in the pocket. You can't be rolling out, especially against these defensive edges. We go out on downs inside our own 10 because, again, what do we have to lose? We're just trying to get stats at this point. 2nd and goal at the 3. Another handoff. Whitaker, touchdown. Buckeyes, 45-0 here halfway through the 3rd quarter. It's been pretty academic so far. This has not been much of a contest. So that last snap is going to be the last one for Rodgers for the day. We're going to go with Brock. Brock makes a nice throw. He makes a nice completion there. So Brock Dawson gets off to a hot start. Dawson takes a snap. He's going to roll right. He's got a little bit more speed. He can feel it. Throws a pick. Vickers, impact linebacker, picks that one off. It was man coverage, but he throws that ball behind him, and Vickers just steps in front of it. Pretty terrible throw there. We do get the ball back after they score. This is our only highlight of the game. It is a touchdown pass from Brock Dawson to Ben Dahl, and yeah, we just go to the end of the game, 66-7. You know, we had the recruiting class. We got a couple of players, but we walked into an absolute hornet's nest here at the Horseshoe. Not that we were expecting to play well anyway, but 66-7 is a little bit demoralizing when you have the recruiting class where you got a couple of pieces in and you're kind of hoping that you can play a little bit better. But, again, it was the worst recruiting class in the country. Obviously, all those guys are starting. Pretty gross. Pretty gross game to start the season here. So 66-7, Ohio State cleans our clock. Not a lot of fun. We'll go through the stats here. You can see total offense-wise, it wasn't that much difference. We just turned the ball over a billion times. They ran 31 plays, scored 66 points. It's over 2 points per play. 13 for 18 for the air, 212 yards rushing. We were 4 for 13 on 3rd down. 4 turnovers of their none, 4 picks. That's the story of the game. That's really it. We turned the ball over a ton. They did whatever they wanted offensively when they had the ball, and we just, Rodgers, 18 for 36, 217, no touchdowns, 2 picks. So 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions to start the season. Clark had 51 rushing yards, most of that in garbage time. Diggs did have 10 catches for $148. Ben Dahl wasn't as prolific as he was last year, 5 for 70. But you can see Tremaine Diggs is going to end up being a guy that we throw the ball to a lot. Dahl did have 4 drops in this game. So 4 drops and 5 catches is not ideal. Diggs had 10 catches and only had the 2 drops there. So if Diggs continues that level of production, maybe he becomes more of our go-to guy. So you can see the box score here. Started out kind of quiet, pick 6, but once they got rolling, it snowballed pretty quickly. So again, Ohio State beats us 66-7. It does not get easier. We welcome the number 10 Iowa Hawkeyes to town next. They killed us last year. This time they're coming to town, so we can audible this year, which is just great. Will it be any better? Well, there's only one way to find out. We're going to see what Brad and the guys have to say about it. We're 0-1. I think Iowa played a game. Nope, this is their opener. So this is their opening game. So they're getting their season started on the road, up the road at Ames, Iowa from Iowa City. It's a short drive. I don't know how long it is, probably like an hour and a half, because Iowa City is east of Des Moines and Ames is north of Des Moines. So I would imagine it's probably like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. So relatively close. Not as close as you'd think, but I digress. Iowa heavily favored here. They got all their guys back. Hughes is fantastic. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. Again, they run a relatively traditional offense, but they've got weapons everywhere on this team. Talent-wise, Iowa's one of the best teams in the country. I want to say they're an A overall with an A offense and an A- defense. They will probably, outside of Ohio State, be the best team that we play this season. They are loaded. And apparently, just for fun, they like to take 2- and 1-star recruits that they eventually cut that we don't get, which is infuriating. So like we could have 2 or 3 extra starters if Iowa would just stop doing that. They're going to run the option. They're going to fumble. We're going to recover. Avery Townsend comes up with the football. So Iowa starts with the football. They run an option and they cough it up. So we get the perfect start, which is kicking the football off and then getting a turnover. So great job here. You can see Chambers is the one that makes the hit, pops that ball right out, and Avery Townsend makes the recovery. You love to see it. So we get off to a hot start against the Hawkeyes here, and we are on their 39-yard line. We're going to fire to the right. That one's underthrown and knocked away. Again, not a great ball on the out route. Rogers going to throw to Buckles here out of the backfield, and that one's not going anywhere either. So it's quickly 3rd and 11. Rogers under center. Surveys, has time, throws short to Steinbaugh, who gets drugged forward and gets out to about the 35-yard line, picks up 5. 4th and 6, we're going to go for it, going to Dahl, who drops the football. So we are not able to cash in the turnover. We go out on downs. Iowa gets the football. There goes Dorsey, stumbles a bit, and he's gone. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Iowa, touchdown Hawkeyes. Dorsey, the running back, 65-yard touchdown, all the way to the house. Iowa recovers from that early stumble. It is 7-0 Hawkeyes here. So Rogers is going to take the snap. He's going to roll right. He's going to fire to Diggs. That's a good-looking throw, and it's dropped. Unfortunate. 2nd and 10. Rogers, handoff to Clark, breaks a tackle, gets a block. That's a heck of a run against this defense. I don't know if we'll get a 14-yard run the rest of the day. We'll take it. Rogers under center, follows his blocker, surveys, and finds Ben Dahl on the left side. Nice pickup of 9. 2nd and 1. Rogers takes a shotgun snap, rolls right, looking for anybody. He's going to Pino on the flag, and he hits his man. Another nice catch. Move those chains. First down at the Iowa 40. Rogers has time, fires to the left, and that one is dropped by Ben Dahl. Going to bring up 2nd and 10. Rogers under center. Surveys, they're blitzing. We get it off to Steinbaugh. Decent little spin move. Wasn't the most beautiful thing in the world, but it was effective. Pick up a 5. 3rd and 5. Fires short to Ben Dahl, who does bring this one in. And that's a first down for the Clones. 1st and 10 at the Iowa 28. Shotgun. Rogers fires short, and that one's going to fall incomplete. That one was in a double coverage. Going to bring up 2nd and 10. Rogers hands off to Clark. Gets the edge again. Another nice run for Clark. Gets up near the 20-yard line. Pick up a 7. Rogers surveys. Fires short. Has Dahl in stride. Good-looking pitch and catch there, and it's 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Rogers hands off to Clark. Don't know if he got much there. Good job by the Iowa defensive line getting off their block. 2nd and 10 at the 10. We hand off again. And that one is once again going nowhere. 3rd and 10 at the 10-yard line. Rogers under center. Fires short to Ben Dahl. Makes a nice catch, but not able to get in the end zone. We are going to settle up for 3 here. Sometimes you want to reward your offense for a job well done. 3 points, 14 plays, 3.5 minutes. It's 7-3. Iowa here. So not quite the start last year when Iowa scored 2 touchdowns in a minute. So it's 7-3. but that's, it's better. It's better than last year. So 1st and 10 for Iowa. It's direct snap to Dorsey. He breaks a tackle, gets forward, and gets up across midfield. It's going to be 2nd and 6 here in the closing seconds of the first quarter. Dorsey jukes, has 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Hawkeyes. Dorsey on another distance job, this one from 49 yards out, and it is 14-3 Hawkeyes. As we head into the second quarter, Rogers under center, hands off to Clark, who fumbles the football. All right, now it's starting to look like last year. Kramer scoops it up. That's a turnover. They get the ball immediately back at our 16-yard line. It's just starting to feel a little bit more familiar. The talent's starting to rise to the top here. 1st and 10 at the Iowa State 16. Hughes takes the snap at a shotgun. He's surveying. He's going deep to the back of the end zone. Caught. They're not going to say that Jenkins got a foot in bounds. I could have swore he did. Pitch to the right to Dorsey. That's going nowhere, but Chambers is worse for wear. Comes up a little bit lame with a possible shoulder injury. We hope he is okay. 3rd and 15. Hughes, shotgun snap, setting up for the screen. Nope, it's going to throw it over the middle of the tight end Jackson. Touchdown, Hawkeyes. That's about as easy as you get. 21-yard touchdown. It's 21-3 Iowa. Rogers rolls to the right, looking, has Diggs wide open, who makes a nice catch. I can't harp enough that this kid has the arm talent. We just got to give him a little bit of time to throw. I think we got to get him another weapon or two, but we'll see if anyone develops into that weapon, if Diggs is going to be that guy, if maybe Buckles takes a leap, if Dahl can take a leap. We're going to see. We're going to find out. But he needs some guys to step up for him because you can see the arm talent's there. It's just a matter of time. I don't think these Ohio State and Iowa games are going to be representative of what he can do moving forward. 3rd and 10, we're moving the ball. We're on the Iowa side of the field. We fire to the right, and that one falls incomplete. So 4th and 10 at the Iowa 40. We are going to go for it. Rogers rolls right, looking. He's firing to Diggs, who makes a nice catch in traffic. You see the white and yellow shirts at the 20-yard line. Rogers fits it in there to Diggs, and we get a fresh set of downs inside the red zone. 1st and 10 at the Iowa 18. Option left. Rogers pitches it off, and Clark loses a yard. Probably should have rode that one out a little bit longer on Rogers' end. Drops back, throws to the right in double coverage. Dan Pino makes a nice catch there. It's only where he could get it. 3rd and 5. Rogers under center. Firing to the right, has Steinbach, cuts up. Gets up, and he's going to be near the sticks. Are they going to give that one to him? They are. 1st and goal at the 7. Rogers hands off to Clark, and that's going nowhere in particular. That is a 2-yard loss. 2nd and goal at the 9. Rogers fires short deep to Dahl. Dahl cannot hang on to that football, but there is a flag on the play. Let's see what it is. It's going to be defensive pass interference. Interesting. They've gotten a little bit of a glitch there. We'll take it. There might be something to that one moving forward. 1st and goal at the 2. We go back to Clark, and Clark's going nowhere fast. Going to be 2nd and goal at the 3. A loss of 1. Rogers under center. Fires to the left. Ben Dahl. Touchdown, Iowa State. So Will Rogers' first touchdown pass of his career is to Ben Dahl over the middle against the Iowa Hawkeyes, and that makes it a 21-10 ball game. Hughes rolling. He's going deep down the left side. He's got single coverage, and he just overthrows his man. So good job by L.A. Augusta there. 2nd and 10. Handoff Dorsey. Dorsey breaks another tackle and picks up another first down. This time Patterson is the one that's banged up. So our corners are dropping like flies. They go shotgun option. Hughes is loose. 30, 20, 10, and we tackle him down from behind. Nice hustle by Augusta there. But he's all the way down to the 1. Pitch to Dorsey. Nice tackle by Avery Townsend. That's a loss of 2 on the pitch play. So 2nd and goal at the 3 for the Hawkeyes. Triple option. Handoff to the fullback Garrett. We've seen him before, and he scores on us again. 3-yard touchdown run for the fullback. And Iowa gets their touchdown back. 28-10 late in the first half. We hand off to Clark. Doesn't get much there. Rogers under center. Looking, surveying, throwing to the right, has Steinbach, but does not pick up much. It's going to be 3rd and long here. Under a minute to go here, first half. Rogers under center, rolls left. He's going to fire over the middle, and that one is caught by Steinbach. So a fresh set of downs. Can we turn it into something? Rogers, shotgun left hash. Rolling right, surveying, going to Diggs on the flag. Intercepted. Did not get the animation we wanted from Diggs, and Lee is taking this one all the way to the house. That is another pick six on this early season, and Will Rogers is once again the victim of it. Another pick six, 62 yards. It is 35-10 Iowa here in Ames, and it's kind of feeling like last year real quickly. You see the total yards? Pretty even, but turnovers are all the difference right now. We got to stop throwing picks. Rogers dropping deep, going to Diggs, and he's got his man. Good looking throw there, led him beautifully, and we get this ball up near midfield. We're at our own 49. Rogers shotgun, rolling right, surveying. He's going to fire deep to Dahl again, who cannot bring that football in. Only 7 hurries for Iowa this time. We'll take it. 2nd and 10. Rogers under center, firing short. Steinball drags the defender forward, picks up a nice gain. 3rd and 4. Rogers under center, looking, firing quickly to Dahl, who makes a nice catch and gets us a fresh set of downs. Calvin Barbado comes up worse for wear. He's going to miss the rest of this game, I believe. 1st and 10 of the Iowa 39. Rogers firing deep down the field to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Man, oh man, we are really, really good at throwing interceptions with Will Rogers. We like this formation. We like this look. Usually the wide receiver can get behind the DB in this look if we get single coverage, but we just don't have the wide receiver talent to take advantage of it. And what's happening is that those defenders are instead getting behind there, and they're picking the football off. And speaking of speed, that guy's gone. Daniel, catch, 1 play, 80-yard touchdown pass for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and they are doing whatever they want. I'm sorry, Barbado's going to miss 3 weeks, so Calvin Barbado is going to miss a little bit of time here, some broken ribs. It's 49-10. It's not going to matter today. It might matter later on, but it's not going to matter today. It is 49-10, 42-10. Iowa here. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Rogers firing deep to Dahl. That one's going to be overthrown. So that is going to bring up 2nd and 10 at our own 33. Rogers blitz from Iowa, picks it up, and Diggs is not able to bring that one in. That would have been a difficult catch. He took a shot here. Rogers honestly making that throw as accurately as he did, bit of a miracle. Viction pretty good on 3rd down. We're 5 for 8. Let's see if we can make it 6 for 9. Nice. Rogers rolling right, firing to Diggs. Makes a nice catch. That is a nice setup. 6 for 9 on 3rd down. We get into Iowa territory. Rogers looking, throwing to the left. That one's behind again, but we'll take the catch from Steinball, and that gets us inside the 35. 1st and 10 to the Iowa 32. Rogers going to fire over the middle, and that one is dropped by Ryan Buckles. 2nd and 10. Rogers under center. Has time. That time is up. Iowa blitzes. They get home. Their cornerback Walker's having a day. 11 tackles, a sack, and a pick 6 in this game. Goodness. Rogers rolling right, looking for anything, going for Diggs again, and it's intercepted again. Yes, that's number 4, and this Lee kid is gone again. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Iowa Hawkeyes. My goodness, man. This kid is just the king of throwing pick sixes. Nebraska had a quarterback in 2017 named Tanner Lee, who I'm pretty sure was the absolute king of throwing back-breaking pick sixes. Will Rogers is off to a bad start. I think he's got 3 or 4 already here in the season. So, seems bad. We'll see if it gets better. Right now, doesn't seem like it. See, Ben Dahl breaks the Iowa State career receiving record for receptions in a career. You'll love to see it. Good for him. He had such a great year last year. Let's see if he can continue and really put a nice number up there for anybody to go ahead and challenge. We get a 1st down. Those guys think we're number 1. They had some fun outside. 49-10. Rogers rolling left, throwing. That one's deflected away. You can see this passing game is basically in shambles at this point. We go back to the ground to Clark. Running game's not much better. He falls down, doesn't get anything. He did his best there. It's 3rd and 12 here with a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Rogers rolling left, looking for anything to develop. Goes to Diggs over the middle and overthrows his man. He looked open too. That's unfortunate. 4th and 12. What have we got to lose? Iowa's blitzing. We're throwing into triple coverage, and that one is deflected away. Iowa gets the ball back, turnover on downs at the Iowa State 28-yard line. Hughes, play action. They still have the starters in. That is about as easy of a touchdown as you will see. Touchdown, Iowa. Let's just get to the end of the game. They score again. We get a field goal, 63-13. They take home the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Was there any doubt? Just another catastrophe, just like last year. The Cy-Hawk catastrophe, really ugly. So Iowa kills us 63-13. We play 2 Big Ten teams and get absolutely destroyed in both games. Conference play starts next week with Tulane. Thank the maker. Again, we got 2 big ones left. Maryland and Missouri are our other non-con games. Those ones on the road at Maryland, ones at home with Missouri. I don't know if they'll go much better than this, but boy, this was ugly. Another game, Iowa, 25 plays, 63 points. 2.5 points per play. It's not great. Not great. We had the ball the whole game. Did a great job turning the football over. Another 4 interceptions. So for those keeping track, that's 8 interceptions on the season in 2 games. That's not very good. We've only scored 20 points. We have 8 interceptions. It's not very good. Rodgers, again, throwing the ball a ton, doing his best. It's not really going well. Dahl had 11 catches for $122. Diggs 7 for 157. Steinbaugh had 8 catches for 58. So that's kind of nice, but Dahl did have 5 drops. My goodness. Steinbaugh has been a really reliable safety net. Let's see if that's something that comes into play in conference play. Let's see what his receiving numbers look at the end of the year, because I think they might be decent. He was 4 for 6 for $150 and 3 touchdowns. Good Lord. That's ridiculous. He's absolutely killing us. Look at this kid, man. Walker, 13 tackles, a sack, a pick. Lee had 7 tackles and 2 pick sixes. Just destruction. Bring on conference play. Bring on someone that isn't this. Let's see what our players can actually do against players they have a chance against. Maybe. Let's see it. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care.